Welcome to My Daily Thread. It's a great little place to get a snippet of wisdom from the yoga and the meditation masters to start or to end your day. I'm Jeff Lichty. All right, friends, welcome back. Don't forget, Snip the Snippet challenge is on. Send me a new word for snippet. And what kind of wisdom do you want to look for in life and on the podcast? Send that to me and I'll send you some swag. Well, Pete and I'll decide which the best one is and we'll start using it a little bit. And go from there. All right, we're moving right along here. Chapter 2, verse 5. But before we do, I'm reminded of spending so much time with this wonderful teacher, M.A. Jayashri in Mysore, and she was our chanting teacher there. Wonderful, wonderful family, a matriarchal family, which means the wisdom is passed through the matriarchs. That's wonderful, especially in India. Anyhow, she has a PhD in Sanskrit. Again, one of those incredible credentials for a woman of her era in India. Just inspiring. And I was so blessed to have her in my life. I'll tell you that. Like, what a beautiful family and what a beautiful, beautiful mind. Anyhow, we would do these long chanting sessions with her. And sometimes what would happen, because we'd spend hours there chanting, is we would get into almost a rap-like chant where we'd go faster and faster, and she'd have to slow us down because we were rapping out these sutras like, I don't know, like hip-hop rap stars or something. Anyways, it was just hilarious. But this next sutra, I don't know, there's something about it that just reminds me of that magical time where we were sitting on the floor in her place, just having this wonderful experience. So here we go. This is 2-5. That's what we're doing. And if I completely blow the chant or the Sanskrit, that's on me. That's got nothing to do with their brilliance and their teaching, I'll tell you that. But here it is. I love this sutra, just the way it rolls off the tongue. This is chapter 2, verse 5. Anicca suci dukkha nat masu nicca suci sukhat makya tiravidya. Woo! I love that one. Anyhow, just the way it rolls off the tongue sometimes, Sanskrit, I just love that. Anyways, here we go. Remember, we were talking about Avidyā yesterday and how that's the field of all the other kleshas. But now he goes into, Patanjali goes into more detail. He's saying, look at anicca suci dukkha nat masu. This ignorance thing, this is what the sutra means. He's saying we define ignorance as mistaking the impermanent, the impure or the painful, and the non-self as the permanent, the pure, the pleasurable, and the true self. It's this notion that we take the self, which is full of joy, which is pure and eternal, to be that which is not the self, and that which is painful or unclear, that which is temporary. That's what this sutra means. And so this is a very important sutra for understanding kleshas, because remember, kleshas, this ignorance, is the field where all the others grow out of. And when we mistake what is impermanent as permanent, anicca for nitya, that is absolutely the breeding ground of ignorance. This is so apparent in our culture, especially our pop culture. Here's an extreme example. I've been reading a little bit more about the whole longevity culture, and there's just this remarkable obsession with it currently. To me, this is a great example of how we're looking at what is impermanent and trying to make it permanent. Isn't that interesting? And let's look at the other misperceptions in this field of ignorance. We look at the impure as the pure, asuci versus suci. We mistake the body for being pure. We take pride in beauty, youth, appearance, those kinds of things. But we use cosmetics and luxury clothing and fitness regimes to try and maintain this illusion. But the reality is the body is impure. It's just a bag of bodily fluids and a whole bunch of secretions. And I'll tell you what, as a medic, we saw more than enough of that. Ugh, yuck. On top of that, it's always changing, it's always degrading, it's always decaying, it's always in some form of flux. That's not what is real. It is not the truth. And so we maintain ignorance in that area. Similar with dukkha and sukha, this idea of what is painful and what is pleasant. And we chase these worldly pleasures. We all do it. I do it all the time. I mean, come on. Let's just think about good chocolate. I mean, I'm like all about chasing some good chocolate. But the Pleasure is always elusive. It always fades. It's never lasting. And then finally he talks about anatma and atma. And this is the real kicker, right? This is where we identify the body and the mind rather than understanding that there's something that exists beyond that. And remember, go back to the very first chapter, when what we're looking for with this yoga chitta vritti nirodha is tada drashtahu swarupe vasanam. Then we reside in our own true nature. That's what he would be saying as atma, that true self, not the fading self. So this is what Patanjali is starting to help flush out, our understanding of this idea of avidya as the root klesha, understanding that avidya feeds the ego, the attachment, the aversion, the fear of death. Avidya is the king of kleshas. Ooh, I feel like that's enough preaching. I don't know, my grandfather might be proud of me, that little Mennonite kid roots. That felt like a little preachy. Maybe consider this. Are we chasing permanence in the impermanent? Are we chasing pleasure in what's painful? Are we seeing what's impure as pure? Ooh, boy, that's a lot. Just let it percolate, see what happens. And then get on with living your happiest life. All right, friends, till tomorrow. Om. Peace out.